Hey everybody, how are you this evening? Thanks for the minute hiatus, and we are diving into day 4 of Love Him Evermore, a 9-day retreat to the Sacred Heart of Jesus through the spiritual practices of St. Ignatius of Loyola. And so today's chapter is His Heart, Divine and Human. And so I just want to say, when I start off reading today's chapter, I get so much of how much hearing Father Joe talk about his fear and his reliance on his own father. And I just drew this total parallel of this shift in life of finally realizing that is what we have to do with Jesus. That's what we have to do with God, is this, when we're scared, when we're fearful, when we are desperate, when we are sad, when we just have these intense emotions and we don't know how to handle them, we don't know what to do with them. That's what we do, is we call out. We call out for our Father. And so I think it just, this story that he draws on his own personal experience just really hit me. And it spoke to me about that connection and what we're supposed to do. And as we start to go through the day, we talk about the incarnation, and we start to talk about Mary's fiat, and really just focusing on that and marinating in that, that Ignatian exercise, and really just thinking about, what does that mean? What did Mary really say yes to? And in turn, what did Joseph say yes to? I mean, we talk so much, and we should, about Mary and her yes, her fiat. But it really opened my eyes today to think about how big it was of Joseph to not walk away. I mean, in so many respects, there were so many things that he, while saying yes to being the foster father for the Son of God, he was saying no, or he was closing the door to so many things that he probably thought that he was going to have by being betrothed to Mary. I mean, thinking about, it's not just that she was pregnant and they weren't married yet. I mean, that was one thing that could have, been a worry or concern, and it speaks to that. I didn't even think about the fact, Jesus, when they said, name him Jesus, it wasn't a family name. I didn't think about how impactful that would be in that time. But in him saying yes to all of this, and kind of diving in, not knowing exactly probably what he was doing, other than going into this dream and having Gabriel come to him, he was giving up the ability to have other children. I mean, the responsibility that he was taking on to raise God's son. I mean, think about that for a minute. I mean, that's some powerful stuff right there. And so as I sit and I really think about this part of Jesus's story, and really think about what his parents, his earthly parents, what that meant, what they said yes to, and think about all these other things that they're big in our realm, but we don't want to do them. We know we should do them, but we don't want to do them. And there's times where we just turn it down. And I think, I don't want to imagine what our world would be like if either of them had said no. And so it encourages me to think about other ways when I have that initial no. What could that really change? How could that be impactful? And knowing that I need to say yes. So I think that's a big takeaway for today. And in reading everything, I really love the questions and exercises for today. And I really love, I keep saying this every time, but I love the imagery of this book. I love how Father Joe has such an innate ability to weave and storytell, and he brings his own perspective into everything. And it really paints a pretty picture, and I feel like I can be transported into this book, which isn't a traditional book of storytelling, if that makes sense, So the questions and exercises about using Ignatian contemplation to pray with the Nativity. I love this. I feel like I'm gonna soak on this a little bit this weekend, but it says, choose one scene from Matthew 1 through 2 or Luke 1 through 2, Joseph and Mary's journey to Bethlehem, arrival of the three kings, etc. Imagine the place. Use your 5 senses. Consider the climate, the time of day, the setting. And I'm like, I just always think of Christmas, which I know is backwards, but really trying to, again, think about what this was like. See the people. What does Mary look like? Her clothing and her face. What is Joseph's expression, disposition, and emotional state? What are they saying? Holy cow. I mean, they're just on this journey. They're on this journey, and they're being led, and they are, in some ways it's like having blind faith. Like, they're being told to do these things, and they're probably somewhat hesitant, but they have that tug in their heart. They know this is what they're supposed to do. So place yourself in the scene just as if you were there, writes Ignatius. See yourself as a humble servant, eager to assist the Holy Family, maybe asked to hold Mary's hand or to touch the face of the child Jesus. And then I get to thinking, this massive thing. I mean, they tell you, no innkeepers can help them. They turn them away. So I'm thinking, okay, Bethlehem is full. Does anybody have any idea what is happening right in front of them? I mean, and then afterwards, we have this, we celebrate Christ's birth, but thinking about what right in that time did that look like? Did anybody else, I mean, the wise men were there, did anybody really get what was going on? Or was everybody else just going about their business, not realizing, like, God's son was just born? So, again, what a beautiful thing. And you kind of wonder, like, how did they pick up? What was the next step? Like, what did that, those conversations, it's good to think about. Conclude with a conversation with Jesus, Mary or Joseph, as one friend speaks to a friend or a servant to a leader. Is there anything they want to say to you? Jot down a few key words and images. Like, again, I would want to be a fly on the wall. I can imagine, and I'm gonna again think about it and soak on it and just let it all come. But I really would love to know. And then close with a familiar prayer, for example, an Our Father or Hail Mary. And I love this. We're almost on St. Therese of Lisieux's feast day. I love this ending prayer. So we'll end with prayer to the Christ child. O little infant Jesus, my only treasure, I abandon myself to you every wish. I seek no other joy than that of calling forth your sweet smile. Grant me the graces and the virtues of your holy childhood, so that on the day of my birth into heaven, the angels and saints may recognize me as truly yours. Again, just so beautiful. So I think, today I'm just going to take the next couple days, even though we have other readings to do. And this is one I think I'm going to keep coming back to and keep thinking on. So I'll be intrigued to know what your thoughts are. So until tomorrow.